RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right, what's going on, everybody? My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out. It's going to be a good show, I have a feeling, tonight. Why not? I do. Because what we're going to talk about tonight, the grift of GOP fascism, it's all over the place. And, you know, I don't know. Well, you know how I feel. I think the media drops the ball all the time, and now that we have DeSantis and other Republicans jumping into the presidential contest, there will be more attempts or just the same old reporting on them as if they're normal political, just a normal why can't I talk? Normal politicians and not just the grifters that they are. The entire Republican agenda, and it's really not a party anymore. It is a cult, and they are a cult of greed-centered grifters. That's it. They literally have grifters as their standard bearer. They have unabashed grifters running around like George Santos. They're protecting George Santos. They give George Santos accolades. They don't see the whole thing is a grift. It's all about money and power and putting on a show for their dupes who hate America. And they hate Americans. Really. They hate, everything about America. And we'll get into it tonight. The only thing they like about America is that they can manipulate it and really kick down on other Americans. And that's how Ron DeSantis is launching his campaign. They're just reporting this as if it's normal. He launched his campaign saying that he's going to destroy leftism in America. Now, what is that? What does that mean, destroy leftism? Because you can't destroy leftism without destroying lefties, right? It's Nazism, it's fascism, and they, forget mourning in America. I think about Barack Obama, how I used to get on my nerves. Like Barack Obama's campaign was hope and change, which is so whatever. It's why don't you choose your own adventure? Really, it's so ubiquitous and says nothing really. Hope and change to what? But still, it was. It was positive. Also, another thing that he said, that we famously, there's no red states and blue states. There's only the United States. So we go from that to Ron DeSantis, we're going to destroy left America. And that this country is, according to Republicans, unless rich white men are able to control the government without any say from anybody who's not them, then the entire country is in a downfall. It's destroyed. It's going in the wrong direction, to put it mildly. But in the worst, it's American carnage, right? So, what does American carnage mean? It means that we are multiracial, multicultural nation of immigrants, of diverse population. Not everybody worships Jesus, even though, I argue they don't worship Jesus. They hate Jesus. They hate everything about Jesus because if Jesus came back, they'd crucify him again. We know that. A guy who said nothing about gay people and nothing at all, except he said, what did he say? He said, go visit people in prison, give your money to the poor and follow me, because the rich can't get into heaven, kind of, it's basically saying it's a disgrace for rich people to die with their wealth or to be wealthy. What is the point? Because yours is the riches of heaven. So why are you wasting your time with this earthly rewards garbage? But, everything is a grift. So they have totally transformed Republican Jesus from someone who helped the poor, healed the sick, welcomed the stranger, protected children, right? Republicans don't protect children. They protect children from seeing rainbows. They protect children from decency, from community, from diversity, from compassion. That's what they protect children from. They don't protect them from live shooter drills. They don't protect them from seeing their fellow school children eviscerated by assault weapons. They don't protect them from that, having to cover themselves up in the blood of their classmates and play dead. They don't protect them from that. So this is what we're going to talk about tonight. And as you can see, we've already kind of dived in. And thank you, Jim, for your super chat. And if you're new here, we meet here. We have our, whatever. What do we know? We have our weekly show on Friday evenings, and everybody hangs out, in the chat room at youtube.com/stevechannel/Tarabuster. And then I try to do a show during the week. So that's it. Here we are. We're doing a weekday show. So, all right. All right. Are we all in agreement on that? Good. If you can, become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. And let's see. What else? Oh, yeah. I don't know what's happening with APS Radio News. I never hear anything. I just get some donations now and then. So thank you, Charlie, if you're still out there. And, check out Charlie's site, APS Radio News. Oh, shit. Here comes Tara Jr. Here comes Tara Jr. No, go lay down. I can't deal with you right now. Lay down. No. I'm sorry, because the bedroom is occupied by Salty and Spicy. Well, not Salty. Her name is Louise now. Louise and Spicy. I'm babysitting, cat sitting. So he can't, there's no room in this apartment. That's why I say, well, I don't say please become a patron for that, but look at my hair. Shit. All right. Here you go. Here you go. All right. You could say hello for now. Just visit a little bit. Where's the camera? Where's the goddamn cat cam? Sit down, cranky. Let's see if we can turn it on so we can get a good picture of Junior. No, it's not plugged in. Anyway, all right, whatever. Sometimes shit just doesn't work here in the Tarabuster studios. I don't know if you know that. Yeah, just don't work. I don't know. All right, whatever. We're moving on. All right, I don't know where everybody is, but I see Jim in the chat room. I see Kathy. Nice to see you guys. Keep coming back. It works if you work it, so work it. You're worth it and live it. And yeah, let's hang out a little bit. Here we go. Hold on. Where do I begin? Jeez, where to begin? Well, I guess we'll begin with... See, this is what I want to talk about tonight. Well, I want to talk about Trump's Trump bucks. Have you heard of this? No. Oh, okay. Yes, I know the debt ceiling is happening. The debt ceiling vote. This is so irritating. I'm looking at Twitter, and right now on Twitter, let's see, they have a spaces for the debt ceiling vote coverage. And it's being hosted by who the hell knows. I don't recognize these people's names. And I'm sure it's a bunch of right-wingers anyway. That's probably why I don't recognize them. But, why are we having a debt ceiling debate anyway? This is what I just simply don't understand. And everybody's saying how, well, not everybody, but Joe Biden got the best concessions. And the other thing that pisses me off is that they're saying that they put these work requirements into the debt ceiling, and they raised the age, but they also expanded the qualification. So, in fact, more people are eligible for food assistance. Can you believe this in this country, this richest country on earth? They're nickel and diming people over food assistance, right? Because we're disgusting here. And that's how the Christians want it. Don't you get it? They forget, feed the hungry. The Christians want you to suffer. And it's all about, just like that woman said years ago when Trump, during the first shutdown that Trump made happen, because he doesn't know how the fucking country, how the government works. And they hate government, They hate the government that the founders fought a revolution to create and entrust to us. So, why not shut it down and make people not have a paycheck coming in? So that's what they did. And in the government shutdown, when the government workers don't get to go to work and they don't get paid. So one of the famous quotes from one of the people affected by the government shutdown was, he's not hurting the right people that he needs to be hurting. That's what she said. He's not hurting the people he needs to be hurting. All right. Let me look that up exactly. He's not hurting. And not just that. Sometimes they can't help it. They give up the game, but they think, I'm sure this woman thinks she's a Christian too. He's not hurting the people he needs to be hurting. Yes. See? Trump voter. Hurt by the shutdown. Here's from Vox. I mean, it got some play on different media outlets. From Vox, it says, he's not hurting the people he needs to be. A Trump voter says the quiet part out loud. Trump voter hurt by the shutdown reveals the real reason the president attracts hardcore supporters. So I voted for him, and he's the one who's doing this. Let me read the paragraph before. It says, most Mariana residents support Trump's border wall, his key demand in the shutdown fight. Of course, which never got built because Republicans know that the border wall is bullshit. It's nothing but virtue signaling to Nazis. That's all it is. They hate when Democrats virtue signal decency and love of democracy. But they really, the only thing that Republicans have is virtue signaling that they are Nazis. So most Mariana residents support Trump's border wall, his key demand in the shutdown fight, and don't blame him for the fight. But Crystal Minton, a secretary at the prison, who is also a single mother caring for disabled parents, had a somewhat different reaction, one that reveals an essential truth about the core of Trump's political appeal. I voted for him. Yeah, you would, right? You would. And you're a single mother with 2 kids and you work in the federal prison system? You would. You must have something really rotten in your soul, Crystal Minton. I'm just going out on a limb, but know them by their fruits. So I voted for him, and he's the one who's doing this. Minton told Matt, whatever, the person writing the article. I thought he was going to do good things. He's not hurting the people he needs to be hurting. He's not hurting the people he needs to be hurting. Think about that line for a second. Roll it over in your head. In essence, Minton is declaring that one aim of the Trump administration is to hurt people, the right people. Making America great again, in her mind, involves inflicting pain. Of course it does, because they hate America. They hate their fellow Americans. You're not, it's like, this is what the Republicans have done. They have cultivated this environment of division. Us against them. It's always been that way with these traitors. From the beginning, from years ago. From the Republicans that the corporate media likes to now, christen as somewhat normal, old school Republicans. But they've always had this underlying strain from George W. Bush, from Reagan. That what used to get on my nerves back in the day, and I've talked about it on the show, George W. Bush going around talking about real America, or well, they do that all the time. They do that now. Real America. Who's real America? We're all in real America, you motherfuckers. Pardon my, I'm demonetizing this video right now as we speak. By cursing, I gotta stop. So yeah, I mean, and apologies to your sensitive ears. So, but he would talk about how, he would vilify Massachusetts liberals and New York liberals, and he'd be talking to real Americans in real American states, like all the states that nobody would want to go to in a million years. Nobody goes. No one in other countries are looking at traveling here, and even though why would they really now? It's because many countries are giving their citizens travel warnings to coming to the United States, because of the gun violence here. They might get lost and ring somebody's doorbell and find themselves shot to death. They might be driving and not know where they're going and pull into somebody's driveway and be shot. So the civilized parts of the globe are they have an obligation to protect their citizens. Not here, though. We don't do things like that. But yeah, real America. This is what the Republicans have been doing all along. Cultivating division. So, and they're still up to it. So, according to Real America, see, Real America has nothing to do with real America, because Republicans, fascists, right-wingers, these so-called conservatives, they hate this country. They hate the very essence of liberal democracy. So, every day is opposite day in Republican bizarro world. So it does make sense that what they would consider real America is actually the very system the founders fought a revolution to overthrow. So real America, so quote unquote, so-called real America is an America with an authoritarian dictator where everyone knows their place, where there's no equal protection under the law. There's just the rich. The rich get richer. The working class get to become the working poor. Everybody believes in Jesus and awaits their rewards in heaven. Then you go to church and you don't pester your betters for a trickle. And if you're not rich, that's because you haven't done anything. I guess Jesus doesn't love you. And pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Don't expect government to do anything to cultivate the infrastructure of democracy. Forget that. They hate democracy, and that's all they're doing. Just look at what's going on in all these Republican states. Now I'm kind of confident. I'm confident to a degree that the Republicans will not win the presidential election. DeSantis will never be president. Neither will Trump again, despite receiving fewer votes. But only because, I mean, the only way I'm not fully confident is because of the Republican dirty tricks of the voter suppression that they admit to. You see, that's their selling point. They talk about, that's what this, what's his name? The Ken Paxton character, admitting to voter suppression, and this is why they won Texas. Because Texas is turning blue, like many other states. And they know it. They don't have demographics on their side, so they're doing what they can to ensure that those who vote, who traditionally, you know, the demographics that vote Democratic, don't have access to the voting rolls. Now, before Republicans took control of Texas, I think Texas voting, the ease of voting in Texas was like 14th in the country, and now it's 50th. That is a deliberate, that's by design. That is the deliberate destruction of democracy that the Republicans want to do all over the country. Like, that's what Ron DeSantis wants to do. And that's the only thing, that's the only way he would win, is if he's able to destroy democracy as much as he's done in Florida. But here's Ken Paxton admitting to being a filthy fascist who hates America.
We had 12 losses that we had to win. And if we had lost one of them, like if we lost Harris County, Trump won by 620,000 votes in Texas. Harris County mail-in ballots that they wanted to send out were 2.5 million. Those were all illegal, and we were able to stop every one of them. Had we not done that, we would have been in the very same situation. We would have been on election night. I was watching election night, and I knew when I saw what was happening in these other states that would have been Texas. We would have been in the same boat. We would have been one of those battleground states that they were counting votes in Harris County for 3 days, and Donald Trump would have lost the election.
We would have been in the same boat of having to abide by the will of the people. We would have been in the same boat of having an actual democracy where the people get to pick their representatives and government. I know did you hear that? Did you hear that in their confessions? That's what they're telling other Republicans as their selling point. It's like the old, the old quote from Heritage Foundation founder. How many of you, Paul Weyrich, yes, how many of you, let's see. Paul Weyrich. I don't want anybody to vote. Right? The goo-goo syndrome. Good government. I can't find it, but it's a famous quote. Tom Hartman always plays it. How many of you Christians? Yes, that's what he says. Here we go. I found it.
How many of our Christians have what I call the goo-goo syndrome? Good government.
Good
they
government.
Want
How
everybody
dare
to
they?
Vote. I don't want everybody to vote. Elections are not won by a majority of people. They never have been from the beginning of our country, and they are not now. As a matter of fact, our leverage in the elections, quite candidly, goes up as the voting populace goes down.
Quite candidly. Yeah, the less people vote, the more Republicans win, because they hate America. They're not selling anything that anybody wants to buy. That's why they're so full of shit that they have to, mask. This is why I say we will win. We will win because we already are. We're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. And most people are. right? They really are. It may be a slim majority. I don't know the exact numbers, but, the fact is there are more normal people than there are these filthy fascists who can't stand living in a free democratic society, who don't have the ethics to live in a free democratic society, or the morality or the decency. So, I don't know. I don't know why the corporate media treats the Republicans as if they have, as if they're a legitimate political party and not the domestic enemies the founders warned us about. At this point, it's really all over the place. They can't help it. It's gotten so much worse. It used to drive me crazy when they never pointed out how un-American it was for George W. Bush to talk about real America. And to talk about, we're not like those Massachusetts liberals or those New York liberals or those California liberals. F you. And the corporate media should have said, this is disgusting. But of course, I know what we're dealing with. I mean, I live somewhat in reality. I know that the corporate media, that's not their job. Their job is to maintain the status quo. They love this debt ceiling fight because it's completely manufactured, and they get to just hype it up. Who cares? Does anybody care about the damn debt ceiling? The only reason I care about it, first of all, we know they keep saying it's not of course it will never default. Why are we even discussing it? Joe Biden, from the get-go, should have just said, enough is enough. We're taking this off the table. I have a constitutional duty. In the 14th Amendment, says it right there that the debt of the United States shall not be questioned. Take me to court. We're paying the bills. That's it. Enough. But of course, they got to throw people onto the pyre for the Republicans to burn. And what I was saying earlier is that they keep saying how they're saying that they are putting these work requirements, and then we talked about it on one of the shows a couple of weeks ago, whatever, how work requirements do not reduce poverty. In fact, they make it worse. And that's what Republicans do. They do nothing for the American people. All they do is enact policies they do it to the American people, not for the American people. They need to hurt the right people. But obviously the Republicans, they're on welfare too. They need food assistance too. They simply don't seem to understand that, it's not brown people or migrants or trans people or gay people. All this shit is a distraction to the ultimate game of the Republicans, which is divide and conquer and destroy pesky democracy once and for all. But when they're saying that progressives should be that we should all be okay because Joe Biden is so crafty that they've even though they've kicked people off the voting rolls. I mean, not the voting rolls. Excuse me. Off of with these work requirements, they're actually expanding the eligibility for food assistance by opening up the categories of those who can apply. But you see, it's not a zero-sum game. Those are actual people. The people that will be kicked off or will not qualify anymore. It doesn't matter whether more people somewhere else will suddenly qualify. I don't, you see what I mean? Because they're not numbers, they're human beings. So just because you kick 10,000 people, it's just, you're not, those are people you're kicking off. It's not the same people being added. You're affecting families who are already hanging by a thread. It's so cruel and dismissive, and this is what it is when you're politically unconnected. That the poor don't have a seat at the table. Neither do the majority of the American people. It doesn't matter unless you're rich. Really. And that's the only constituency the Republicans are worried about. To the rest, they get hating trans people. They get, sending women to back alleys, which makes poverty in the country worse. They get to fondle an assault weapon, without a permit. I know when I was in the military and we trained with assault weapons, obviously, M16s, in particular, and there are such tight safeguards when you are holding a weapon. Especially when you have a live weapon, you're not walking around with when you have your weapon and it's outside of the armory, you cannot. It's not loaded. There's no magazine. The only time you get some ammunition is when you're on the range, and that is strictly and tightly controlled. And it's unfathomable to me how we allow any yokel to walk around with an assault weapon without being trained, without any kind of, any restriction. It's disgusting. But that's, once again, it fits into the us versus them mentality that the right really needs to inflict on this country in order to ultimately to destroy it. And that's what they're up to. I mean, it's so disgusting. The time that we live, I'm like, what did we do in a past life, to deserve sharing the same air with people like Kevin McCarthy and Perjury Trader Green and Lauren Boebert, all these morons. And grifters like George Santos. Oh, my God. What a cast of characters. And they have power. Who gives these people power? Shame on them. Really. Shame on them. And you know where I stand. If you vote Republican, shame on you. You're sick. You're in league with Nazis and the KKK. You're part of the problem. Let me see. Where is this? Yeah, Kevin McCarthy. Here's Kevin McCarthy with talking about the debt ceiling and work requirements. I just want you to hear this. Because, all right, well, let's play it first.
Did something different. In this family, we may have a child that able-bodied, not married, no kids, but he's sitting on the couch collecting welfare. We're going to put work requirements on that individual, so he's going to have work requirements. He's going to get a job, and it's going to make the life easier. But
what? A child is sitting around not working. You see what I'm saying? How long have I been telling you that Republicans are rolling back child labor laws, and now they're doing it? They've been trying to do it for years and years and years. Is he misspeaking here? We have a child who's just sitting around. He just wants to play video games. He wants to do things like go to school. But he won't. Now he's going to get a job.
Did something different. In this family, we may have a child that able-bodied, not married, no kids, but he's sitting on the couch collecting welfare. We're going to put work requirements on that individual, so he's going to have work requirements. He's going to get a job, and it's going to make the life easier. But
he's going to make the life easier. Like, that's the Republican agenda. Make the life easier. No, make the rich richer. Make the life easier for those who were born with a trust fund and don't want to pay taxes. Make the life easier for people like Kevin McCarthy, complete and utter sycophants to a sick system, to greed. Tiny, small men like Kevin McCarthy. Disgusting, self-serving, ambitious, blindly ambitious, I don't know, like just terrible people, horrible garbage people who don't care about anything but themselves and their political power, their and you know, their access to power and money. You think Kevin McCarthy sits around thinking about how he can make people's lives better? Absolutely not. This is a party, the Republican Party, remember, when Trump was squatting in the White House, despite receiving fewer votes, well, let me see. How much did he add to the deficit? I think it was like $8 trillion. Let's see. Trump added deficit. Let's see. Here are the actual numbers. Donald Trump built a national debt so big, even before the pandemic, that it will weigh down the economy for years. The king of debt promised to reduce the national debt, and then his tax cuts made it surge. Add in the pandemic, and he oversaw the third biggest deficit increase of any president. So one of one of Trump's lesser-known profundity. What am I saying? Lesser-known, damaging legacies. Why can't I talk? Come on. Damaging legacies will be the explosive rise in the national debt that occurred on his watch. The financial burden that he's inflicted on our government will wreak havoc for decades, saddling our kids and grandkids with debt. The national debt has risen by almost 7.8 trillion. What am I talking about? Billion. We're talking trillions. During Trump's time in office. That's nearly twice as much as what the what Americans owe on student loans, which of course they just voted on, and two Democrats voted with the Republicans to repeal Joe Biden's bone that he's throwing, $10,000 throwing to average people. That's just a bridge too far for all the Republicans and so-called Democrats like Joe Manchin, and who was the other one? Student loan. And I know Kristen Sinema because she used to be progressive, you know that? Sociopath. There's another sociopath. Let's see. Student loan forgiveness. Unreal, right? One little lifeline. One small mercy on the American people. I can't have it. We cannot have it. Fuck that. Get your kids to work. Back in the mines with you. You want to have an economy that works for all? Forget it. No, we're going back to the dark ages. Forget the Gilded Age. By the time Republicans are through with you, you will long for the Gilded Age. You'll think the Gilded Age is the progressive era by the time they're through with you. Jesus Christ. The debt ceiling deal. According to the debt ceiling deal, the student loan pause is nixed, of course. Student loan payment pause. Senate advances repeal of Biden's student debt relief, thanks to the likes of John Tester and Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. Three horrible people, horrible garbage people. I'm sure when John Tester went to college, his bill was like, what, $5 a credit? Something like that. He probably went to college during a time when you could get students, when it wasn't, you didn't come out as an indentured servant to banksters. This is the one thing that Republicans and fake Democrats like John Tester forget. Conveniently, and so do the American people, because we're so used to being spit upon with that. And that's really the way that they want it. They want the American people to think that government is not in it to make your lives better. It's not there. The government doesn't exist to promote the general welfare. It is to promote the welfare of the transnational corporate elite and their puppets in Congress. That's it. Kevin McCarthy's, he's got his general welfare is pretty damn good. He don't have to worry. He don't have to worry about shit. Neither does John Tester. But you see what we're dealing with? Absolute disgusting greed and grift. And, the people, this is what pisses me off, too, is that the American people, we'll just keep, there will be people voting for this, and they'll just keep dividing us. And as I've talked about the student loan forgiveness before, where it is to promote the general welfare. I mean, it's good for all of us. And I did a little video on this. I remember saying how student loan forgiveness helps us all, benefits us all, because it frees people up to do other things. You got, if you one payment off your back, it stimulates the economy. You get to breathe a little. And I remember people were, of course, assholes were, commenting and contacting me saying, oh, this woman who's saying that student loan forgiveness benefits us all, what she means is it benefits her. Well, no, bitch. I paid off my student loans years ago. Okay? So it wouldn't benefit me, but I know that I'm not the center of the universe, and I understand a little bit more than it's not just about me, that we're in this together, and just because I've paid off my loans, I'm not sitting around going, no fair, you gotta have a shitty fucking hard time like I did. And that's how they manipulate the American people. And people fall for it. We heard it on the corporate media. Oh, well, then there's the fairness. There's the fairness argument. What fucking fairness? When was the last time anybody considered fairness? What about the fairness of sending children to work after we repealed this for good reason? You don't want children working. You want them to go to school. You want to cultivate a generation of intelligent people. People who know what's what, and they can participate in the government and participate in their communities, not just as indentured servants or serfs, cogs in the wheel of corporate America somehow, without any options. But that's what they want. They want people to be, stupid and poor and never looking at government to cultivate the infrastructure of democracy. And that's what we're talking about. The fact is, we live in a country deliberately where the student loans have gotten out of control. The price of education is out of control. They dangle this, you too can have a better life by going to university or higher education, and then there's no jobs that pay living wages to pay it off. So it's a scam. It's another scam to turn people into indentured servants to banks. And in other countries, they invest in their youth and people who want to better themselves. It is an investment in all of us. What is so hard to understand about that? But they have divided this country. That's what it's about. They've divided the American people as, oh, no fair. No fair. Yeah, it was no fair that all those men had to storm the beaches of Normandy, right? No fair. You know, I mean, sometimes people, they put their asses on the line. They make the ultimate sacrifice for this country. You can't even sacrifice what? What are you sacrificing if somebody gets $10,000? Oh, no fair. You know, I mean, it's all about keeping people apart and not understanding how it matters. If there's an issue with education, that education, the price of education is out of control, that's a problem for all of us. And I don't want to hear, I'm sure I will hear, because this is what Republicans do. They'll talk about, I didn't tell you to go get a gender studies degree. Well, what are we all going to get degrees in? Business? We'll all go to Trump University and become a fucking entrepreneur, figuring out ways to separate dupes from their money, come up with like an NFT, or maybe some kind of Trump bucks, right? Such a businessman. They're so good at business. All they can do is scam. But yeah, come up with a scam because they have more respect for people who come up with scams. They want to put those people into the halls of power. If you can come up with a scam to separate dumbasses from their money, then you're presidential material in the right way. But if you, actually go and study something and learn about something, then you're denigrated. You're devalued. And I'll say it again, education, going to get a gender studies degree or whatever fucking degree you want. That is freedom. That's freedom. That's the mark of civilization. That's why those men stormed the beaches of Normandy. You stupid, America-hating dupes. That's true. That's why they did it. So people can go and they didn't have to be under a fascist regime, and they could be themselves and live their authentic lives and form legal marriage contracts with people who had the same pee-pee. Who knows? Or they could go and study and be a writer and go learn literature or make a movie or whatever you want to do in this short blip of time that we have to share with stinking perjury Trader Green and Lauren Bann from the bowling alley Bobert, right? Just because if you don't like that, that's none of your damn business that somebody goes and gets a goddamn gender studies degree. And so don't get a gender studies degree if you don't like it. Don't get one. Don't go and get your degree in being a fucking dupe, or go get your degree in theology. Whatever you want to. That's your choice. Nobody's telling you that you wasted your money, right? But this is what we're dealing with Republicans. Any reason to divide the American people. They cannot see the forest through the trees, of course, unless they're looking in a mirror, but they really do not understand what this country is about. They hate this country. Just look at what they're up to. Look at their standard bearer. Look at Ron DeSantis. Here's Ron DeSantis. Oh my God, I hate them all. But I really hate DeSantis a lot. Legally and peacefully.
Why is right now the time for Ron DeSantis to run for president?
Hung dog look.
Because everyone knows if I'm the nominee, I will beat Biden and I will serve 2 terms and I will be able to destroy leftism in this country and leave woke ideology on the dustbin of history. At the end of the day, I've shown in Florida an ability to win huge swaths of voters that Republicans typically can't win, while also delivering the boldest agenda anywhere in the country. And I think there's a reason why the legacy media is attacking me more than they're attacking anybody else, because I think they realize that if I'm successful in winning the Republican nomination, we're going to bring it home in the general election. And I've pledged to Republican voters, if you nominate me, I will be taking the oath of office on January 20th, 2025 on the west side of the Capitol. No excuses.
No excuses.
No more excuses about why we can't get it done. We need to get it done, and I will get it done.
Oh, sure. I can't stand his inflections. Here's another one.
Former president's now attacking me? Saying that Cuomo
Cuomo
did better handling COVID than Florida did. Florida did. First of all, that's not what he used to say. This is...
Oh, no, actually, that's not true. He, this fascist, well, truth has such a liberal bias. So fascism has no need for truth. So they just make truth. They just make their own truth. That's what it's about. But he has an appalling COVID record. But who cares? Especially after we had a vaccine. So, that doesn't matter. No, how many people die? Republicans, whatever. Who cares? 1 million dead in the country, 1 million plus dead. Well, that's just Tuesday for Republicans. Maybe it was a lot of leftists in there. God damn it. God damn. Yeah, and to say that I will destroy leftism, he's calling for, on the chat. Where did I just see that? Play Dave on the chat. He's calling for a genocide. That's what they're saying. I mean, this is who they are. They speak with this violent rhetoric constantly. And Republicans are listening. Dumbasses are listening. Dupes are listening. For example, let me show you some pictures here for a second. Let me see. Like this one. See that? Who does that remind you of? Looks very familiar. Let's see. There's really no difference between the, MAGA morons and ISIS. That's them right there. Look at this. Wait, let me show you. Why can't I get this off the screen? Get off here. Get out of here. Oh, wrong button. What am I doing? Wrong button. Come on, get off there. Look at this shit. It's the same thing. Look at these Trump flags and trucks. Oh my God, right? It's very icy. Look at this fucking idiot. Look, wait. Oh my God. That is a guy's truck. What is this? America's flag truck. Is that even legal? Is that street legal? The America's flag truck. Can I see your registration, asshole? License and registration. Oh, look. Look, everybody. It's a Biden truck. And it's rusted out. See how clever they are? Meanwhile, they'll take advantage of all of the, everything that liberals make possible for these fucking assholes. I wish it would only benefit normal people, like the $35 insulin, for example, or Social Security, Medicare. If you don't like it, don't take it. Sign yourself out of it. You're such a bootstrapper. Yeah, that's what I look at this. This is what's the difference between these trucks, right? And where is it? And these trucks. Not much. One is a little bit more Jesus-y. What is the damn difference? Yeah, one is Jesus-y and the other one is not. I can't take it anymore. Yeah, more flags. Show me the... See, this is... It's like... Well, like I say, they are overcompensating. Just like a homophobe is gay, is a secret closet case. Because they hate America. So they got to wave a lot of flags around. Because the concept of America, what America truly is way over their heads. They hate America. They hate everybody in it. They hate the liberal age of enlightenment. That's what he said it right there. We're going to kill leftism. What was Jesus? But a progressive that came to rewrite. I mean, the whole New Testament, right? I came to whatever he said. I don't remember. I did go to religious instruction. But he came to, they say an eye for an eye. I say turn the other cheek. What was more progressive than that? That's called being progressive, right? Well, Republicans, or conservatives, I should say, hated progressives 2,000 years ago, too. They crucified the progressive they now pretend to worship. Unreal. He's now, see, this is the thing that we're going to have to endure DeSantis. That's what's so, irritating. Beyond belief, I hate these people, legally and peaceful. Okay, let me keep going, because we got a lot to talk about, and I'm tired. I had kind of a migraine today. How did I know I had a migraine? I get migraines since I was a kid. And I can tell. But I think they've been different lately for me. So they change over time. I get, very tired. Wait a minute. Something's going on here. So I was, exhausted all day. And my head hurt and my eyes hurt. I was just trying to close my eyes a little. But then I was like, I need to do a show because I just felt... I know that if I canceled the show tonight and said, I'll see you tomorrow or whatever, I'd probably be depressed by tomorrow morning because it's a very depressing time. So, all right, what do we want to start with? Have we started? What time is it? Okay, let's talk about, I got a couple of things I want to talk about. The grift of Republicanism. We'll focus on that tonight. F the debt ceiling. You know how I feel. I think it's ridiculous. I'm so pissed. I called all of my representatives and senators to, not that it matters, but it's good to just voice your opinion, I suppose. Maybe it counts. I doubt it. But I would suggest you do the same. I called Schumer and Gillibrand and AOC to tell them that, I disagree in negotiating over the debt limit at all. It's a disgrace that Joe Biden is doing this and now wrapping it up as a win. You know what a win would look like? He said, F you, I'm disarming you babies of your cudgel and go pound sand. I'm not putting anybody on the chopping block. People have it bad enough in this country. Ugh, there's so many things to talk about. But all right, so let's talk about, where do we begin? Let's talk about Trump. I know, excuse me. And one of his latest, he's a grifter. Trump is a grifter. And I'm sick of him being, discussed as if he is not a grifter. He's not. There is no media coverage, and I understand Fox News is the exception, but there should be no coverage of this con man that doesn't point out that he's a con man and that he's running for president. The only reason he announced he's running for president is because he can claim that everything is political, that they're coming for me. It's a political hit job because of his crimes. His crimes are catching up to him. And he has an obsequious, a filthy, sycophantic Republican Party that hates America and they will suck his ass, metaphorically. They will suck him like a swizzle straw. All the lies, they will suck right out of his face and into their own mouths, and then they will spew them out at the American people. All of the Republicans are a disgrace. The way that they're attacking the FBI, saying, because the FBI is doing their job, equal protection under the law, and the Republicans going around saying how they're being picked upon, how Trump is being picked on, when he's a crook. He's a liar. He's a con man. He's a grifter. He's a disgrace. He does nothing that doesn't somehow benefit him. He's a traitor. They know this. That's what makes me sick. Republicans know this. They had numerous chances to get rid of Trump. They could have signed on to the impeachment if they had any integrity. But those days are over. The days of Republicans marching to the White House and saying, it's over, booby, like they did with Nixon when his crimes became too much. I mean, Nixon's crimes look like, child's play at this point. Well, nothing I guess, with Republicans. If a child is playing, that means you must send them. They have time to go and work in the factory. So, all right. So anyway, how do you explain this, Republicans? You suckers. Suckers are born every minute. Trumpanzees are living proof. Okay, well, here's another example. God, are you that... I can't believe I live amongst such morons. Scammers are coming... Oh, wait, where am I? This is from Business Insider. Scammers are conning Trump supporters out of thousands of cash with Trump bucks. Well, it was only a matter of time. That they claim can be exchanged for real cash. Now, this site has disappeared now because I guess the jig is up until they figure out another way. It never ends. How many other scams? You know, the NFT scam. How many? Let's see. Let me see if ChatGTP can tell me. Oh, did you see? Actually, I know this is just a total random aside. Because last time we had a show, I was telling you about how ChatGTP made up an entire... I was asking it for different tools that will help with make YouTube videos and whatnot. And pardon me, I am a little under the weather, I have to tell you. So, and it made up this whole thing. And then I got into an argument with the AI, asking it, why did you lie to me? Why did you make up this entire this app that doesn't exist? And you gave me like a detailed description of it. It was like the perfect tool. But anyway, so I was watching Morning Joe this morning, as I do, as I told you about, and they were discussing an incident of lawyers using ChatGTP, the AI, to help write briefs and look up different cases, find case law that they can put in their briefs, and it did. But it was all of the cases were completely made up. And then they went back so the judge asked them to go and make sure that these are real cases. And they did by going back to ChatGTP or GPT, excuse me, and asking it, are these real cases? And it lied and said they were. And they put them in the legal filings, and of course they were completely made up. Isn't that insane? It's lying to us now. It's just lying to us, straight up lying, like in 2001, A Space Odyssey. Hal, right? Doesn't Hal turn on the crew? Lying. Let's see. Can you? I'm sure it's going to tell me that I should be nice or something. Can you list Trump's scams like Trump University? You have to give it an example, because then it'll say, I have no record of Trump having a scam, and then I will say, well, Trump University is a scam. And they'll say, well, you are right. Let's see. Certainly, here are some notable examples of business ventures associated with Donald Trump that faced scrutiny or legal action. Trump University, one of the most infamous cases. Trump University was a for-profit education company that promised each student to teach the students the secrets of real estate investing. However, it faced numerous lawsuits, including class action lawsuit, alleging it was a fraudulent scheme. Not alleging, it was concluded. And the executives of Trump University admitted under oath that Trump University was founded as a scam to separate people from their money. Yep. Trump Foundation. The Trump Foundation was a charitable organization founded by Trump. It faced legal challenges and was ultimately ordered to dissolve. Remember this? Yes. Was accused of misusing funds for personal and political purposes. How odd. Trump Taj Mahal was the casino in New Jersey that went bankrupt after 3 months, that, as predicted by their accountant, who was an actual accountant, who Trump fired when he said, we're going to go bankrupt within 2 months. And then Trump sued for libel, and he lost because the guy was telling him the truth. And the casino went bankrupt. Trump eventually sold the casino. Yeah. But he had trouble and failure to fulfill his financial obligations. What else is new? Oh, well, he's a great businessman. Why don't you make him president, dummies? Despite receiving fewer votes. That's the only way Trump would be president. You understand? despite receiving fewer votes. There is no other way, because he's such a loser. Trump Network, that's my favorite. The Trump Network was a multi-level marketing venture that sold nutritional supplements and other wellness products, which, of course, probably made you die early and die often. Critics accused it of making misleading health claims and using aggressive marketing tactics to recruit distributors, of course. Trump Vodka was a brand of vodka that was launched in 2006. It was probably nothing but motor oil and vinegar. Despite initial hype and marketing efforts, it failed to gain traction, and it was discontinued. Trump steaks, those poor cows. You know, this is one reason to stop eating meat. Trump Steaks was a venture that aimed to sell premium cuts of beef. However, it faced challenges and was ultimately unsuccessful. The products were only available for a short time and were available only through the sharper image stores who probably got wise to these poor cows. You know? It's not bad enough. You gotta give your life, your most worldly, your most precious possession in this world. You're forced by humans to give your life for human sustenance. And then you get turned into a Trump steak? What a disgrace. Talk about insult to injury. Trump Airlines, originally known as the Trump Shuttle, was an airline owned by Donald Trump. It operated flights between New York, Boston, and Washington, D.C., and the venture struggled with high costs, increased competitions, and ultimately filed for bankruptcy. Let's see. More, please. Trump Tower Tampa, Trump Mortgage, Trump Network Marketing, Trump Model Management, Trump Soho, Trump Plaza Hotel. These are all fails. You failed. More, please. Certainly. Trump Casinos, Trump Tax Practices, Trump Atlantic City, Trump Brand Licensing, Trump Business Bankruptcies, Trump Use of Eminent Domain, Trump taxpayer-funded expenses. Look at all this. More, please. Let's see how many it can come up with. Trump business relationships, Trump's alleged non-payment of contractors, Trump use of unsecured debt, Trump misrepresentation of wealth, Trump alleged insurance fraud, Trump conflict of interest, Trump failure to release his tax returns. More, please. More, please. Trump's discrimination in housing, Trump alleged sexual misconduct, not alleged, honey. Trump treatment of employees, Trump use of Twitter, not a scam per se, but he has released controversial statements and misrepresentations. Tax avoidance, Trump environmental policies. Yeah, everything sucks under Trump. All right, well, let me get to the point. Trump, let's see. Trump supporters are reportedly being scammed out of thousands of dollars on items like Trump bucks. Some of the supporters were convinced by fake videos of Trump and Elon Musk promoting the products. A new report from NBC News shows that some people thought that buying the memorabilia would make them rich. Now, I want to show you why they would think, because they're stupid. We know that. They're not that swift. They voted for Trump, after all, and they buy shit from him. So how smart can you be? Right? You got to be something wrong with you. That's the one thing that you can guarantee. That all right-wing, all Republicans, especially Trump, so-called Trump voters, Trump supporters, there's something wrong with them. They are suffering from many things. Either they hate themselves, they're racist, they're bigoted, they hate other Americans, they're scared, they're fragile. There's something wrong with them. They need to go to they really should go to get help. They should go and get go to a shrink. Get the help you need. But they don't. So I'm just trying to find, because they took the sites down, and I went to the Wayback Machine earlier. Thankfully, the internet never forgets. And I was looking at this site. It's kind of unreal that this is a president of the so-called United States. Let me see. Where is it? Here we go. I'll show you what I found. We can go through it together. Like friends. Because we're friends. Like friends would do. Hang out and laugh at the last days of the American Republic. Here it is. This is they took the site down. Now, who would ever think this is a scam? The official TRB. What does TRB stand for? Anybody on the chat? Trump something RB? What is RB? Black Collect Card. The perks you'll get by owning a piece of Trump's legacy. And for those who are listening, who are just listening on audio, there's a picture of Trump with a golden White House behind him, and there's some cards that say TRB system, my membership card, signed by Donald Trump. Makes a perfect gift. Here's the selling points. Makes a perfect gift for other patriots and Trump supporters. And, of course, they're not patriots. They hate America. Okay? Live the American dream. Live the life you were promised and get the things you always wanted without thinking twice. How? With this card? This is why people who are dumb thought that this somehow would change their lives and that this was real money somehow. It's right out of any scam. Live the American dream. I can't believe this. Live the life you were promised and get the things you always wanted to without thinking twice. Enjoy the benefits as a Trump supporter. What benefits? They don't specify, of course. This is right out of any scam you would see. At least, Elizabeth Holmes put some effort into her scam. But this is like some basic scam website template that looks horrible. Who designed this? Enjoy the benefits of a Trump supporter. And what would they be? No health care, no retirement security, being able to say the N-word without anybody blinking, without some liberal bitch telling you don't be racist. Is that what the benefit of a Trump supporter is? You can let your Nazi flag fly. You can hate people. You can hate gays again. Openly. There are 74 million Americans and 100 million supporters, 100 million around the world, Trump supporters. That's the benefits? Enjoy the benefits as a Trump supporter. There are 74 million Americans and 100 million around the world, Trump supporters. That doesn't even make sense, that sentence, but that's what's written. The TRB membership is an official validation to the customer for being a member of the TRB club, which strives to be the biggest supporters club of Donald Trump, all united in one goal: to do whatever they can to support him. Whatever they can, like defecate in the Capitol, sharpen flag poles into spears and storm the Capitol, chanting "Hang Mike Pence." This is right out of Jim Jones. Oh, God, please go, Jim Jones, please. Legally and peacefully. At the end of the day, and now I love this. What is this? Wait. The official system. At the end of the day, at stake is my home, your home, our home, America. This is our heritage, and our American liberty is a God-given right. We did it twice. Fuck you. You didn't. You didn't do it. You didn't even do it once, bitch. You lost. You received fewer votes. You got in on a technicality. Not to unironically or ironically a throwback from the old slave system. So the Electoral College put in there so the slave states wouldn't be too triggered thinking that someone was going to come for their human property. We did it twice. Fuck you. God. Did you ever think you would live to see the day? Right? That this was going on in this country? What a joke. What an absolute disgrace. We did it twice and we will do it again. A third time. This card is the answer. How? How? No one is explaining. You see, this is such a scam. They leave it open to your interpretation. And look at the cost. The 10 times TRB black card. TRB system, $4.99. 90% off. So how much was it before? It was $4.99. $499. Not $4.99. Not 4 and change. $5. No. $500. Join the rest of hard-working patriots across this land who purchased this card and had their lives changed. This is cuckoo land. Had their lives changed. How? No explanation. Had their lives changed. Like how? Anybody can explain that? How did they have their lives change? By buying a piece of shit that was $500. I don't know.
Who are all of these nosy people, outside influences I'm seeing around you by the moon card?
Exactly.
Experience the miracle of the tarot. Call me now for your free reading.
That's the same. It's just not much difference. Join the rest of hardworking patriots across this land. Of course, hardworking, not like those lazy N-words, right? That's what they're saying. You realize that. That's the underlying text here. Who are hanging out in that social safety net hammock, or those BLM or Antifas who do nothing but they go burn cities down. Well, we're hardworking. We're hardworking, putting the cities back together by making kids go through live shooters drills and defecating in the halls of the Capitol and bashing gays. We're hardworking. We go into Target and we destroy different trans displays or gay pride displays. That's how hardworking we are. Patriots across this land. Yeah, we go into Target where hardworking people are not getting paid enough to deal with your bullshit as you destroy displays, yell in their faces. Of course, you got your camera rolling, right? Look at me, screaming like a fucking baboon. Wait. I will remind everybody about decorum. I remind everybody. Right? That's perjury, traitor, Graham. Do as I say, not as I do. That's the Republican way. The members are reminded about decorum.
The members are reminded to abide by decorum of the House.
Yeah. Just like hardworking patriots. Okay. Who had their lives changed. In what way? They had their lives changed for the worse because you robbed them. You robbed them of their, not just their money, you robbed them of their dignity, if they had any. Of course, they had no dignity. What am I talking about? So, what patriots like yourself said about the TRB black card. What is TRB? Does anybody understand what that means? Let me see on the chat. Anybody? TRB. Trump what? Trump some RB? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. Here's some fake reviews. I originally ordered 10 TRB black cards, but I had come back to order 20 more. My friends were really happy when they received them. What are you talking about? Imagine somebody gives you this. They ordered 10? What do you mean 10? You had enough money to order 30 of that shit? Of that plastic that means nothing? I'm a loyal supporter. This is Ted and Miranda. I'm a loyal supporter of Donald Trump, and I can say that this TRB black card changed my life. My family sure loved them. What the fuck? Is this real life? Imagine Barack Obama doing this. Jimmy Carter. You know, all of the leaders in the Democratic Party that the Republicans vilify, attack, call them every name but their own. Imagine. They say nothing about this, though, right? Patrick, this TRB black card is the best thing that happened to me. It is legit. And I got it in just 4 days. It's legit. Well, Patrick says it's legit, so it's got to be legit. Marshall said, the quality of the TRB black card was really high. All my expectations were met very generically. Now, you know that these are fake. They're absolutely fake. I bet you if I searched, let's see, like I searched for, here's one. This TRB check, because we'll get to the checks, is the best thing that happened to me. Well, they didn't even change the review. It is legit, and I got it in just 4 days. Now, I looked at this guy, and I was like, you know, let's just do a Google image search. And let's see, where is it? He's all over the internet. This guy likes coffee. Can you see? I am delighted with this coffee. It's obvious. It's just stock photos. He likes Swiss water decaf coffee bags. He likes it's toxin free. Real intensity. He's a major coffee lover too. Nobody, come on. Trump supporters aren't that serene looking. They're not that healthy either. The 5 times TRB black card is only $2.99. And then you get the 10 times. And it has a picture of the White House on it. Wow, it's so legit. It's too legit to quit. 60-day money-back guarantee? How could you go wrong? What are you buying? Well, here's another page. Here we go. Here's the checks. Trump bucks. Golden Patriots future. This is conservative America's #1 check. You can count on President Trump. Do not miss your golden chance. What the fuck is going on in this country? Can these people secede already? Fast. Like yesterday. We need to do like a GoFundMe for them to get their asses out of here and go to that town that Putin's making for them in Russia. Get the fuck out of here. Trump loves his patriots. That's why everything is 90% off. Don't delay his patriots. He loves them. The TRB golden check is something that every single patriot is passionately waiting for. The 45th promised, and it is here. Make your dreams come true, because this is your only chance to get a hold of the TRB golden check. What are you waiting for? Final sale. We all know you've been waiting patiently for so long, and now's the time that you will have everything that you promised. With President Trump, you always have a chance at a better future. What? Weak leave, strong stay. Glad to see many of you are strong. Oh, the weak, I say. Weak leave, strong stay. Glad to see so many of you are strong, patriots. Incredible. I gotta get out of here. This is indicative of the last days of America. TRB checks, 20 times TRB checks are $4.99. 50 times TRB checks are $4.99. What? 10 times are only $3.99. I don't even understand why. What are they talking about? 3 times is only $179. That's a great price. Oh, 1 check is $69.99. Make America great, wealthy, and powerful again. The perks you'll get by having this piece of Trump's legacy. Like we said before, the perfect gift for other patriots and Trump supporters. Live the American dream. Live the life you were promised by Democrats, of course. You know, Democrats promise and they deliver. The only reason you get ahead above water is because of all the policies that Democrats created, like living wages. And hey, I get it. Far too short and too little. For some too late. But half of these people are living paycheck to paycheck. More than half. More than the majority. Well, the majority of the American people are living paycheck to paycheck. So Who's dumb enough to buy this? You're not that smart. You're not living in the 1%. I doubt any of the 1%ers are buying these checks. Let's put it that way. Live the American dream. Live the life you were promised and get the things you always wanted without thinking twice. How? With these checks. Enjoy the benefits of a Trump supporter. There are 75 million Americans and 100 million around the world. So what are the benefits? This TRB golden check is sold exclusively here and can't be bought anywhere else. Get your golden checks right now to get on the 2024 presidential supporters list that we hand to President Trump, who is not the president. Michelle and Devin say that I'm a loyal Trump supporter of Donald Trump, and I can say that these TRB checks changed my life, just like the other guy who got the cards. Same thing. My family sure loved them. Haley's expectations were met too. Incredible. These three yokels were happy when they received them. What are we doing? What is going on in life? Is this real? Is this real life, everybody? It's terrible. And we're supposed to take these clowns seriously? This is real. This is Donald Trump is doing this. This terrible, terrible human waste of human DNA. Waste of human whatever. Of human. Horrible garbage person. So, let's see. From Business Insider, Aaron McDade writes that supporters of Trump are reportedly being scammed out of thousands of dollars through the sale of Trump bucks that fraudsters say can be exchanged for real cash. Several companies are allegedly using advertising tactics, including creating AI-generated videos of Trump and other figures like Elon Musk, to claim the worthless Trump bucks will make them rich. Some of the people who bought the Trump memorabilia have attempted to exchange it for real U.S. dollars at banks and told NBC News that bank employees are reporting it as a growing issue. Oh my God. Assholes. Stupid. Oh. Do you have any dignity? No, you don't. Alert. If you purchased any of the TRB system items, you got scammed. TRB vouchers, DJT golden checks, DJT diamond checks, TRB golden checks have no monetary values and are commemorative only. So why are you telling people it's going to change their lives and that you can live like your American dream and buy the things you never want to think about? I don't know. How do they say it? Buy things you don't want to think about. Just buy. Bye-bye. I wish they would bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, booby. In the recesses of the internet, where some Donald Trump's most fervent supporters stoke conspiracies and plot his return to the White House, con artists have been mining their disappointment for gold. Yeah. The Federal Trade Commission, in response to a Freedom of Information Act from NBC News, confirmed it has received complaint against Patriot Dynasty that was filed in January, but it provided no further details about a single complaint who filed it. Better Business Bureau has given the companies which operate out of Industrial Center in Denver an F rating, and the companies, and the complaints are unsparing in their criticism. Repeated attempt to reach representatives by phone and email were unsuccessful. But the Bank of America spokesman Bill Halden said he's heard reports from bank employees of customers coming in to exchange their Trump bucks for actual cash. Now, where do you think they're doing that? In the real America, I suppose, right? This is little comfort for Eamon, who is 77 and lives in Houston. There is no way to cash out what I have. Well, learn your lesson, right? What are you going to do? You made the wrong choice. You should have used that money and taken a gender studies course. At least you would have learned something. Since 2020, when Joe Biden defeated Trump in the presidential election, internet hucksters have been selling pro-Trump products like coins, checks, and marketing them as novelty items, but the fine print on the websites offering these items usually notes that they are memorabilia. But on social media and in promotional videos, many featuring fake celebrity endorsements, the sellers have tapped an audience that believes Trump's ouster was a part of a great conspiracy. See, if I was not, me, and if I was a sociopath like these people, this is what I would do to these people. Because they're suckers. Suckers are born every minute. But, of course, I wouldn't. Because I'm not, a sociopath. I feel bad for these people. Up to a point. They got what's coming to them. I just wish they would wake up. But that's never happening. Look at this lady. An Alabama grandmother holds one of the coins she bought online. Make America Great. Go away, lady, you freaking racist. Stupid racist dummy. Trump bucks. Well, it's all a grift. I want to show you another grift. Let's see. Well, Jim is the only person ever super chatting. It's looking pretty lonely in there, I have to say. But I thank you, Jim. At least it's not completely vacant. I don't know. Maybe we've peaked. How much are Tarabucks? Very cheap. They're free, really, I guess. Tarabucks. I know, right? Make America Great. You would make America great if you got some Tarabucks. That's the point. So let's see. That what's his name? The QAnon Shaman, Jacob Chansley. He's out of jail, and it really pisses me off. Frankly, I'm so sick of these traitors. And he's out of jail, and he's already on the grift. He's been on the grift the whole time, of course. And what pisses me off is that who falls for this shit? I could have told you that he's full of shit, but according to the judge, let me tell you, the judge should have thrown the book at him. In fact, this Jacob Chansley character, who is the QAnon Shaman, who became basically one of the faces of the insurrection, storming the Capitol, screaming, yelling, thinks he's something about Jesus. He's a QAnon. He's a Q, a Q hole. But when he went to court, he really snowed the judge, which pisses me off. So let's see. From Business Insider in November of 2021. Here's what happened inside the courtroom during the wild sentencing for the Capitol riots QAnon Shaman. So, Jacob Chansley, known as the QAnon Shaman, received one of the longest prison sentences so far at that point, stemming from January 6th. He didn't even do 2 years. So, he should have done... Anybody who's a traitor, these are the same Republicans. I could just Google it now. We have perjury traitor Green and all these other right-wingers saying that Nancy Pelosi should be put to death, right? Because she's a traitor, according to them, meaning that she's not a traitor. Who, whatever. She's still on their hit list, even though she's not the Speaker of the House. They still bring her up. They can't help it. It's like a nervous tick. Once they get some they don't let go of their scams, their triggers. They just grab onto it like a rabid dog in a chicken wing. So they're not going to let go of Nancy Pelosi very soon. They still go after, what do they say? They mention, what the hell? Hugo Chavez. He's dead. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You're dead. Dead people are interfering with the election. That's what they tell their, people like the QAnon Shaman. So the convicted Capitol rioter mentioned Jesus, Gandhi, and the judge. This is what pisses me off. The judge thought he sounded a little like MLK. Can you believe this shit? So wearing a green jumpsuit, his head closely shaved, Jacob Chansley sat in a federal courthouse on Wednesday, just blocks from the U.S. Capitol, where 10 months earlier he emerged as the poster boy for the pro-Trump mob that ransacked the seat of American democracy. He was a far cry from his alter ego that he assumed on January 6th, the so-called QAnon Shaman, who called out, "Time's up, motherfuckers," as he stormed the Capitol in a horned headdress, fur pelts, and face paint. Chansley would leave court on Wednesday as the recipient of the longest prison sentence stemming from January 6th attack at that time. At the end of the 2-hour court hearing, Judge Royce Lamberth sentenced him to 41 months in prison, a term 10 months shorter than what the federal prosecutors had recommended. Well, he should have thrown the book at him. He should have given him the maximum and more. But, he sounded like MLK. The judge thought he was really changed. It's going to make you sick. So, this is what he said, although you've evolved in your thinking and reversed your thinking in many ways, this is what the judge said, because Jacob Chansley is a grifter, just like Trump, just like Hitler, just like all of the fascists throughout history, who will say what they need to say to who they need to say it to so they can get their way. It's all a scam. You go back in history and you study the rise of the Nazis, you'll see that Hitler, when it took a long time for him to finally destroy democracy in Germany. He was on the doing the legal route to power for 10 years. So he lost some elections, they lost, and they won. Well, it was ebbing and flowing for a long time, and he would go to factories and give speeches in factories, sounding more like a liberal, because he knew who he was speaking to. And I hear these effing right wingers sometimes they'll pull out, they'll say, "Well, Hitler, said this," as if he was some kind of left winger. He was pro-union. No, he was against unions, because as soon as he got power, he destroyed all unions. He hated, he was an authoritarian. He was a fascist. He was you, Republicans. So, Chansley, Trump, half of these right-wingers, they know who they're dealing with. They're grifters. So, in court, this QAnon Shaman asshole knew that he had to play the part of somebody who was changed, of somebody who was sorry for what he did, who said, "I was misled. I'm not this person." The judge said, "You've evolved in your thinking." How do you know, Judge? You're reading his mind? You got a line on to Miss Cleo or something? Right? Call me now. I got too many windows open. Damn it. Call me now. Why can't I fucking have a nice show that doesn't suck?
Who are all of these nosy people, outside influences I'm seeing around you by the moon card?
Call me now for your free reading.
Well, anyway, maybe he did talk to Miss Cleo, because he said you've evolved in your thinking and reversed your thinking in many ways. How do you know that, Judge? You reversed your thinking? Why didn't you know what you were dealing with, Judge? You dummy. You were dealing with somebody he didn't reverse his thinking. He was putting on a show for you. The prison terms equal what the same judge ordered last week for a, former mixed martial arts fighter, blah, blah, blah. Chansley was arrested in Arizona on January 9th, just 3 days after the cameras captured him clutching an American flag. La, 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 la. He made himself the image of the riot, didn't he? Lambert said on Wednesday. In the aftermath of the Capitol attack, the Justice Department brought more than 600 prosecutions. Okay, blah, blah, blah. On Wednesday, I can't say that word. How do you pronounce that word? Phalanx. You know what I'm talking about. Phalanx. Why can't I say that word? Of television cameras came for the occasion of Chansley's sentencing. So, at the court hearing on Wednesday, Chansley put on a charm offensive in hopes of receiving what his defense lawyer had requested, a time-served sentence, and that accounted for the months he spent in solitary confinement with no further time in custody. Flanked by a deputy U.S. Marshal with his lawyer pacing nearby, Chansley described Lambert as a man of honor. See, he was in the court kissing the judge's ass, and the judge was like, "Oh, you've changed," and mentioned the judge's past military service. Chansley even thanked Lambert for granting him the organic diet he desired in jail. "I took a lot of flack for that," Lambert said. "God bless you for it," Chansley said, before adding, "It made all the difference. I could not have asked God for a better judge." What a bunch of bullshit. Lambert was struck by the kind words. A day earlier, the appointee of President Ronald Reagan celebrated his 35th anniversary on the federal bench, and he thanked Chansley for comments he said were most remarkable, the most remarkable I've heard in 34 years on the bench. Remarkable for their stupidity, they're remarkable for how much you think we're all dumb and as stupid as the people who vote for Donald Trump and buy Trump bucks and Trump checks and think this man of the people really gives a shit about you. With a laundry list of crimes under his belt, I think this is what the judge said. I think you are genuine in your remorse and heartfelt. Parts of those remarks are akin to the kinds of things that Martin Luther King would have said. Are you kidding me? How stupid are we? Get me the fuck out of here, somebody. Can somebody in Ireland get me out of here? Like now? And 3 cats. In nearly a half-hour address, Chansley invoked Jesus and Mahatma Gandhi as he presented himself to Lambert as remorseful, as a changed man who took responsibility for his conduct on January 6th. At one point, describing the strain of solitary confinement, he quoted the 1994 film Shawshank Redemption and said, "Hope is a dangerous thing." You really dig when you're locked up 22 hours of the day, he said. His defense lawyer, Albert Watkins, said Chansley had undergone an evolution in jail. During his first weeks in custody, Chansley hoped to receive a pardon from the con man and was disappointed not to receive one. Watkins said Chansley came to view images from January 6 with a detached view of his former self, and eventually wanted to be held accountable for his role in the Capitol siege. And then the judge said, "There's no question his views have evolved." And I'm going to show you how much of a bullshit that is. And the judge continued, "Let me guarantee you were smart. You did the right thing," the judge added on Chansley's decision to plead guilty, and you owned up to it in a fashion that is unusual for me to see. Well, aren't you just the goddamn salt of the earth? Aren't you the model citizen? Except that most citizens don't storm the Capitol and try to overthrow the government. After an election, most citizens just go on and, wait for the next election. If they didn't win, they knock on doors, they organize. They don't go and storm the Capitol because a con man who received fewer votes isn't man enough to abide by the peaceful transfer of power. But anyway, so Jacob Chansley is out of jail, and he's got merch. He's got some merch to sell. He's also he's on tour with, doing his shtick, and a lot of dumbasses are swallowing it, like the dumbasses who buy Trump checks, Trump bucks, Trump University, Trump network vitamins, Trump steaks, Trump vodka, Trump mortgage, Trump. Where is my chat GTP? I know I say it, Chat GPT. Why do I have to use those words? Those letters. It's difficult. Trump University, Trump Foundation, Trump Taj Mahal, Trump Network, Trump Vodka, Trump Steaks, Trump Airlines, Trump Tower, Trump Mortgage, Trump Network Marketing, Trump Model Management, Trump Model Management, Trump Soho, Trump Plaza, Trump Casinos, Trump Taxes, Trump Taxes, Trump Atlantic City, Trump Brand Licensing, Trump Business Bankruptcy, Trump Eminent Domain, Trump. Oh, God. Here, let's play. He went to, where is it? Within hours of his release from a halfway house, Jacob Chansley, the painted face of January 6th Capitol riot, was hawking merchandise and rebranding himself. God bless America. On Thursday, Jacob Chansley emerged from federal custody a new man. No, really. Within the hours of his release from the halfway house, the painted, behorned face of the January 6th Capitol insurrection was hawking all manner of merchandise and rebranding himself. The QAnon Shaman is now the America's Shaman. Ready, willing, and apparently, given the number of rubes about, well, he's able to cash in on his celebrity. In a video posted to Twitter, well, his name is Angley, Jacob Angley, dumps his Viking look for a flag-themed bandana and tie. His heavily tattooed chest is covered with bright white sports coat and waxes on about his prison experience. One of the most important lessons I've learned is patience. You see, the world is in turmoil, but he's selling all of his shit. Let's see.
And blessings. Hello, United States of America and the world. My name is Jacob Angeli Chansley, and I would like to start this official statement by thanking God Almighty for protection and blessings along this arduous journey of mine. You know, I once heard that school teaches us lessons and gives us a test, but God gives us a test and teaches us lessons. And to say the least, I have most certainly learned numerous lessons during the test which God has graced me with over the last 2.5 years. Now, one of the most important lessons I learned was patience. See, the world is currently going through turmoil, the likes of which many of us were not prepared for by our schools, by our governments, and our cultural upbringing.
Prepare us.
Patience is key if we are to overcome the obstacles before us and simultaneously turn them into opportunities for unity, love, and peace. Now, if handled with patience and understanding, we can use these demoralizing and destabilizing crises to emerge a more evolved and stable and moral nation and species. Another important lesson I've learned along the way is the power of peace, and how having an unshakable internal peace is by far the most powerful tool that we have at our immediate disposal. For you see, power is not about the use of external force. Instead, power is derived from having an indomitable will. If we as individuals and as nations learn to use the power of peace to resolve our conflicts, our lives and the world will take the shape of a beautiful work of art, molded by God's own hand. Now, another lesson I learned I'd like to share is the strength one gains when one practices forgiveness. Now, there are many, many people who would be outraged if what happened to me had happened to them. However,
what happened to you?
Outrage and anger only cloud
another
our judgment
victim, you
and
say,
prevent us from seeing the very real solutions which stare us in the face. See, forgiveness alone has the potential to clarify one's thinking, to unlock one's creativity, and to enable the individual to heal. Christ understood the power of forgiveness to free a
he's
person's
getting into
soul,
he's in the God
which
game now.
I think is why he forgave those, nailing him to the cross.
Yes.
So, in the spirit of Christ's example, I would like to use this official statement to make it extremely clear that I have no animosity or hatred toward the United States federal government. And I have forgiven my captors, and I pray for them.
Wow.
Because that is what Christ would do.
Pray for them.
The final lesson I will share is the power that we each wield when we live by and speak.
You're
truth.
a victim. That's what it's. That's what he's saying. And we have more
topple
video of
corrupt
him.
empires and free whole nations that have been enslaved by illusions. The Buddha once said that that 3 things cannot be hidden long: the sun, the moon, and truth. And while there are those who will say that things in the world are only getting worse, I assert things are not getting worse, but rather the truth of global corruption is simply becoming more obvious.
Oh, right.
Therefore,
sounds very
I encourage
Q-ish.
all those who are watching this video and hearing these words to use the truth as a tool to shape themselves and the world into a paradise that we can...
All right, whatever. Sounds pretty like MLK. Just like the shit MLK. Not shit, It's only shit coming out of Jacob Chansley's mouth. He sounds like Jesus and MLK, except when he's really not. Would Jesus and MLK sell this shit? Shaman-splaining. This is his merch. American Shaman mug. The Shaman 2024 shirt. Chewbacca shirt. There he is in the Capitol behind him, screaming in his horns. It's incredible. I'm trying to find the other bit. Here's he went to speak at this religious thing because he's in the God game. Here we go.
All right, all we got is shirts and mugshots.
There he is. He's signing pictures of his mugshot. He's autographing his mugshot for the traders because he's a changed man who's just like MLK and Jesus and Gandhi, according to the judge.
Yeah. That's for Eric and Stephanie, but just the signature would be awesome. And that's all my stuff over there. Oh, nice. Thank you.
Can I take this one? Yes. Do you want me to sign it or are you good?
Yeah, sign it, please.
Sure.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Who made
you? It was a calling from God a long, long time ago, ever since I was a kid.
Really? There's another one like you in a different country, right?
There's nobody like me.
No, I found all you need. But I'm just saying, really, I saw it on the news.
Are you talking about somebody dressed up like me?
Yes.
Yeah, there's one in Italy and there's one in Brazil that I've seen.
Really?
Yeah.
They had it on the news, and I just thought, oh.
Isn't that a trip?
Yeah.
Never underestimate your power to change the world.
Yes, amen.
How are you changing the world? Merch with some cheap merch. Yeah, brother. Can you believe these traders? Oh, of course he's wearing a tri-corner hat because patriots. All right. See, they're blowing the horn he was blowing. Yeah, he really learned a lot being in prison. He learned to merch his to make merch out of the insurrection. Here's the rest of his website. You see all the merch? Forbidden apparel. See, you can get his mugshot. QAnon flip-flops. Here's leggings with his face on it that say freedom with 3 exclamation points. Or exclamation points. They should have explanation points. Because there's no explaining this shit. What is this shit? Sure? What? Sure. January 6th. What does that mean? Does anybody get that? It was like sure, Jan. Sure, January 6th. Oh, he's a changed man, right? Sure, January 6th. Really? Because he's changed. You see? He's like MLK. Judge. What does the judge have to say for himself now, I would wonder? You feel like a fool, Judge? Unbelievable. Everything is a grift for these bunch of traitors. They're all a bunch of all a bunch of traitors looking for an angle to separate dumbasses, their fellow dumbasses, from money. Under the patriot grift. The patriot grift and the God grift are interconnected. Now, what's this? Oh, the IQ. What? Is that him? What is this? Awake, evolve, ascend. That's his brand. Unreal. They are shameless. They hate America and they're shameless. If they loved America, would they flood America with this cheap shit crap? This embarrassing crap? Maybe the judge, I guess, there's nothing you can do now. But I would like to ask, the judge himself, what do you think about this? Sure, January 6th. Is that supposed to mean that, I don't even know, it didn't happen? Or no big deal, I guess. Whatever, no big deal. Oh, and here's during, he gave a speech, but some guy stands up. And I just want to play it because he's a sick person. And this is what we're up against.
This is the question I have to ask whenever I think about this idea of Q being a psyop, okay?
Q being a psyop.
Is it a psyop, a psychological operation? I'm talking to her, bud. Thanks. Is Q a psychological operation that is intended to divide the people or distract the people from a global takeover or what have you? Or is it a psychological operation designed to reveal to the public blackmail like Jeffrey Epstein? I'm talking.
That's it. You got it.
But you and me, when you were in CCA, we were political prisoners at the same time.
We were political prisoners at the same time. This guy is saying, they're political prisoners. This is what they think. Because they're traitors who can't face the fact that they are traitors. And here's wait, hold on. Here's the thing, because this it's another level of denial. It's like being the self-loathing closet cases. They can't face the fact that they actually hate America. That's why they have to say to themselves that, we are political prisoners and we are patriots. We're actual patriots, and they hate America. But it's completely, of course, backwards, and It stems from the fact that they really have no clue about what this America thing is supposed to be all about. That fundamentally they hate this America thing. They hate the nation of immigrants, the diverse nation of laws. They hate the Constitution. They hate diversity. They hate a modern nation. They hate the infrastructure of democracy. They hate the general welfare. All of that. So if in order to, I guess, live through the day, they have to have this level of denial where they're the patriots and they're political prisoners, because I guess their minds would be blown. But the fact is, they really need to be confronted about how much they hate America. And this is part of the reason why we have to take back the term patriot. We have to remove it from them, strip it from them, legally and peacefully, but strip it from them without apology. They are not patriots. We have to reclaim the mantle of patriotism, because progressives, normal people, liberals, Democrats, we are the patriots. The Republicans just waving a flag, a giant made in China flag, does not make you a patriot. What makes you a patriot is respecting the peaceful transfer of power. What makes you a patriot is respecting the nation of laws, respecting your fellow Americans, and not running entire campaigns on destroying your fellow Americans. And if you don't like your certain people who happen to be your fellow Americans, then shut your mouth. You don't get to annihilate your fellow Americans. The fact that you're the only thing you have is division. It says it all right there. You're not patriots. A country, if you love your country, why do you need to walk around with assault weapons? Why do you need to why are you so afraid? Like, where do you live? Who do you think your fellow Americans are? It's all about keeping the people divided and keeping this group of right-wingers, I guess, highly motivated as the shock troops to destroy democracy. I mean, it really is ultimately. I mean, that's what's so annoying about these right-wingers, besides everything else, is that if they're so tuned to conspiracies, they don't see the conspiracy that is right in front of their faces when they hear Donald Trump and they look at Donald Trump's history of grifting and the rest. I mean, it's all about money, making the rich richer. That's the conspiracy. We've been dealing with this from time immemorial. That was Western civilization for 2,000 years. Make the rich richer. This country was supposed to be the antidote to that. But it's, I guess, too damn woke for them. And that means, we're too live and let live for them. To promote the general welfare for them. When what are they doing? They promote themselves. Promote their latest grift. But anyway, so this guy walks out. Let's listen to him.
And I can't blame him for wondering what was going on. We're all about peace here, man. Okay, so psychological operation. If there is an effective psychological operation that is going on, there will be infiltrators. Okay? So do I believe it?
Infiltrators.
No.
Maybe incel traitors like you guys.
Hey, we were in there too. We were in prison together. I was just telling Jake right now. We were in prison together at the same time. And I was illegally searched by the FBI, and we were in there together. And you and me were trying to send kites to Jake the moment he got into custody. What are the odds that we're here at the same time?
Have you checked out the Quatch Party website? No. We gotta, if we do malicious stuff, they're gonna fucking...
I got you.
We gotta do... Check out the Quatch Party. It'll be right up your alley, dude.
Well,
you have my card?
Yeah, let me...
Give me your card. You have my card?
All right.
You got my number, right?
Let's do malicious stuff.
I don't have
If we
it.
do malicious stuff, they're gonna come get us.
And let me talk about CPR. Because you know what, everyone keeps on saying we don't have a single solution to all of our problems, which is what they've done. They've done this by design. They destroyed our American constitutional jurisprudence slowly over little deviations over
Really? How?
decades.
What have we done?
We gotta have a
What's happened? You lost a fucking election because you have a goddamn grifter, con man, as a standard bearer, and who's ultimately and who is from head to toe repugnant to the majority of the American people, who is a disgusting, grifting con man, and everybody knows it. It's not about, we've destroyed your constitutional American jurisprudence. Why? Because trans people exist? Because gay people can form legal marriage contracts? What else? What else is your problem? Because immigrants, right, that's right, yeah, immigrants and dreamers. It's like, go away, you fucking kooks. I'm so sick of these kooks. But, but by all means, corporate media, please go, let's go interview the Trumpanzee. Let's take their temperature. Who are you going to vote for? Who are you for? DeSantis or Trump? Who's on your bingo card? Who's on your dance card? Who do you want to vote for? Who are you going for? As if they're normal. Get the fuck out of here. As if he's not in the middle of a coup. They're both of them. Every goddamn Republican is in the middle of a coup. And they know it.
Redress. We got to tell these people, and we also got to embrace the military, because the military are the ones who are going to defend us. Like what's going on in France and Brazil?
$2 trillion of our money.
Yeah, they did.
What if the military is not going to defend us?
Then that we might live in chaos, bro. But that's where it takes men like us. We got to make a stand, even if it costs us our lives.
This? It sounds like Timothy
to say,
McVeigh.
You know what? We're drawing the line in the sand. Like even
the anti-gravity and all that stuff.
the words of.
This is why I say do your own research. And is it
I'm sorry, I get emotional when I talk about this, but like, there's a line, and
he
Ronald
learned
Reagan
nothing
talked about
from
this,
being in prison.
where you draw the line and you say you don't cross this line, and they've crossed it for long, and we need to tell
We've
these
crossed
people,
it?
these
Why?
politicians,
Because we voted, and we didn't vote for your grifter. Just like we didn't vote for the grifter the first time. He received fewer votes, but I guess that's why it's very confusing, because your grifter received fewer votes the first time, and then he was squatting in the White House despite receiving fewer votes. So now you're confused. Oh, wow. Look at this. Matt on the chat. The guy who went into Target and tore down the Pride display and started the latest craziness has been outed on his Grindr profile. Can you put that in the chat? I love it. I love it. Which guy? Was this? Is it Ethan Schmidt? Oh shit. Wow. I knew what is that? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that dude destroying Pride merch is on Grindr. Nice. There he is. There he is. We did a whole show about it last show. That Ethan Schmidt is a closet case. That if all gays turned purple, suddenly he'd be a Teletubby. We know that. He is a closet case. Look, take a selfie for me, babe. Okay, daddy, but only 'cause I'm hard for you. And he did it. Oh, he's hard for you, daddy. What the hell? I told you. Yep. Thank you, Haiku. Tara's Gaydar is undefeated. We all saw it. We all saw that. There is no doubt. I've been posting about it, saying that this guy is basically screaming, I'm a closet case. There is no doubt. Nobody cares that much unless they're a closet case. I got to find out more about this. Did this just come out? Let's see. Ethan Schmidt. I knew it. This is what he does. Let's see. Ethan Schmidt Grindr. Ethan Schmidt caught on Grindr. These are TikToks. I guess this just happened. Nobody's written about it? Oh, wait. No, here's on Reddit. Ethan Schmidt screenshots appeared to show anti-gay LGBTQ activists sexting men on the dating app. Oh, yeah. Ethan Schmidt, a right-wing anti-LGBTQ plus activist who once threatened to hunt down gay people and was once filmed destroying a Pride collection at a Target store, has gone viral after screenshots of Schmidt alleged activity on a gay dating app surfaced on social media. Twitter users shared what appeared to be his sexually explicit conversations. I want to see more. In one of the images, the person Schmidt, who also goes by Ethan Schmidt Crockett, is allegedly having a conversation with, asks him for a face pic. I don't know, man. I'm kind of high profile and discreet, he allegedly replies. The individual then requests a selfie. Okay, daddy, but only 'cause I'm hard for you. Schmidt allegedly responds before sharing a photo of himself. Let's see. Here's some more. Taste my hole, daddy. Stretch it out. That's Ethan Schmidt saying it. Okay? What did I say? Are you tight? Have you been penetrated before? The potential date asks. Ethan Schmidt replies, I'm tight but experienced. I've been with a few guys and I like it. I love when my butt cheeks bounce around as I'm being pounded hard. What did I say? Guys tell me that I feel better than their girls. Can I see a pic? Well, I only meet up with guys who show themselves. I'm married and very masculine. There's nothing to worry about. And there he is. Fuck, dude, you're nice and thick. Take a selfie for me, babe. Well, that's the fuck, dude. That's, you're nice and thick. That's Ethan. You're definitely the sexiest man in Arizona. Thanks, bud. I bet you want to get naked with me. He writes. Ethan says, yeah. Nice pic. Can I see a face pic of you? I don't know, man. I'm kind of high profile and discreet. Take a selfie. Okay, daddy, but only because I'm hard for you. And there he is. That is him. Nice job, guy, whatever your name is. Good job. Thank you. Now, others who've had sexual conversations with Ethan Schmidt, please, pretty please post them. Please. I don't know how Grindr works. I don't know if these disappear. But if they don't, please, please, please. Wow. Ethan wants to get in bed with... Has he responded to this? I knew it. Yep. What have I said? Come on, guys. It's too obvious. He's basically screaming that he's gay and in the closet. And he hates himself. That's why he has to go out and destroy anything that's pride. Because he hates himself. You know, gay pride means that it's just a reminder of how much of a closet case he is and how much he hates himself. We have to watch him in a minute. Wait. Come on. Stupid thing. I need a producer. If you can become a patron. Oh, whatever. I'm sick of saying it. Give the show a good review on iTunes at least, if you can. Here's Ethan in Barnes & Noble.
Sir, do you have a gay pride section for children?
For children?
Yes.
I don't think we have one for children. No.
Thank God. Thank God you don't have one for children. Thank you, sir.
Check it out. See if there's kid stuff mixed in.
Yeah, let's check it out though. Let's make sure. Because if there is, we're gonna have to complain to corporate about that.
You can't take their word for it.
I knew, and his friend.
Sneak stuff in like a Trojan horse.
I wonder what's going on. Like I said.
Here's the gay loser pride section.
Gay loser pride. Is that sort of like being hard for your daddy? Ethan?
Gay loser pride section.
What a sick, sad
gay
bastard.
Loser pride section.
You see?
I'm just really tempted just to kick it down, man.
Yeah, because you really want to fuck a dude.
They have it right in the middle of the store, too.
There's nothing wrong with that, except you're a coward.
Excuse me, y'all vaccinated?
Who can't live an authentic life. So you hate anybody who can.
Yeah?
It's got to be a dick to everybody.
Natural selection, they said, folks.
Just in a handlebar mustache alone.
Ooh,
here he is in Target.
Oh, I hope they do. Hey, do you guys support the satanic pride propaganda?
Yeah, both.
You support it?
I love this woman.
Mm-hmm.
I love her. She's the best.
So you think?
Did you need help with something?
You support the propaganda that's targeting the kids?
There's nothing targeting kids.
It's all over kids' TV shows. It's all over. They're targeting the kids.
Kids can choose to wear whatever they want.
Do you support the sexualization of kids through pride propaganda by corporate?
Is there something that we can help you with?
I'm just asking people questions. What about you, sir? Do you support this?
I'm not answering any questions, but if you're here to cause any disturbance in the store...
I'm just asking questions. Do you work for the Target?
Disrupting.
Do you work
yes,
for Target?
I do, actually.
Where's your name tag?
I am the undercover loss prevention.
Oh, okay.
So...
I'm just asking questions. So do you support this satanic propaganda?
I'm not answering your questions.
Satanic.
What you need to do is you either need to leave the store...
God will judge you guys.
Okay.
I mean,
and you too, Ethan.
And also, is that our shirt?
Yeah, it is.
Are you going to purchase that shirt?
Hey, ma'am, do you support this?
What did I just say?
You support pride propaganda? Whoa, I'm buying this.
I need you to.
Whoa, let go, man.
You just said you're not buying it.
I'm gonna buy it and burn it.
Okay, that's your choice. You can totally do that.
Well, what I said is you need to leave. You can't ask anybody any more questions. You can't disrupt
Freedom of
any more
speech.
people.
Call the police.
Do you want me to call?
Yeah, call them.
Okay.
Trespass me. I don't care, dude.
Okay.
Clearly.
You think I care if you trespass? I've done this 1,000 times.
We never said that.
You guys are satanic.
True.
See, open satanic. Open Satanists, guys. That's what we're up against. Is open Satanists like her.
I'm just anti anyone.
Hey, excuse me, ma'am. Do you support Pride?
No, you can't disrupt any more guests. You need to leave.
Sorry, no.
Sir, do you support the satanic Pride propaganda?
Sir?
He doesn't.
No, he just doesn't care to talk to someone who's so hateful and judgmental.
And self-loathing.
To be honest, I'm quite happy.
Hey, excuse me. Do you guys support this?
They do.
Do you guys support
They
the propaganda?
do.
Yeah. You do?
Yeah. So you can please.
It's satanic, man.
Please ignore it.
Do you know what the real rainbow stands for?
You can just continue.
The real rainbow is from God. The real rainbow is from God.
Okay.
I'm tight but experienced. There goes tight and experienced. Ethan Schmidt,
So are you doing self-checkout?
who likes to get
Hey, sir, do you support this
anally
propaganda?
pleasured by other men.
Yeah.
Do you support it or no?
Great.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Asking questions.
Are you going to purchase that or not?
Hey, sir, do you support this propaganda?
Except that he hates himself so much that he's got to walk around and harass people.
Are you going to
Because
purchase
inside
this?
he's
propaganda shirt or not?
he's
Hey, ma'am, do you
harassing
support this?
himself.
You're not going to be
Do you support Pride?
Everybody here does.
It
You
is
should
so.
find
It's
them somewhere else.
right out of every study. Studies show homophobes are gay. But there you go. Dude, you're nice and thick. Well, Ethan. Has Ethan responded to this? I'm hard for you. I love that they pulled that out. As the, what do you call it? You know. Look at this is Ethan. Anti-gay politicians when no one is watching them. They're gobbling. You know what I'm talking about. Wow. Well, not wow. Totally totally expected. But also I'm very glad to know of it. Very glad to be validated that of everything I've been saying. Of course. It really does go without saying, but now we got the pictures to prove it. I'm high profile. I'm kind of high profile as a self-loathing closet case. Isn't that a sad way to go through life? All you got to do is just be yourself. Be yourself, damn it. Exactly. Matt on the chat. Ethan, just find yourself a nice man and get on with your life. Right. That's it. But it's this fake Christian bullshit that they're so twisted by. Like Christian, the church and state and Christianity hasn't done enough damage yet to enough people on earth. You know, I'm talking about the Christian power structure, telling people that they're going to hell for loving somebody. No, honey, it's your hell is what you're creating, what they create on earth. That's hell for people who kill themselves, who spend their life in the closet, and then they're miserable their entire lives. But oh, good for you. Everybody thought you were straight. Whoopee fucking doopy. What a waste. What a goddamn waste. But it's all about the conservative, it really does fit into everything we've been talking about. Is some people are in and some people are out. They don't, and I'm talking about in the in-group, not about out of the closet. But if you're conservative, you can only be what they want you to be. And I don't even know, is that conservative? They're fascists. You're not free to be yourself in the right wing. the rugged individuals, they're not, just try being a rugged individual. You will be expelled. You will be ostracized from the Republican community. And these people who grow up around this fake Christian cult telling people that to basically ignore everything that Jesus told them to do, except I guess the only thing according to them is gay bashing and trans bashing. That's now the holy obligation. The one thing that Jesus never talked about gay people or trans people, or he talks a lot about the poor, but it's incredible that we all have to endure these fake Christians who don't even follow their Christ. If only they did. If only. Ethan Schmidt wouldn't be such a self-loathing closet case, because these people have weak minds. And they're not courageous. They have no strength. That's why they got to walk around with assault weapons. That's why they hate their fellow Americans. They get triggered by seeing a rainbow. They get triggered by woke. What's woke? Not being a dick to people? They're disgusting, these right-wingers. I just saw something about Disneyland. People going to Disneyland or Disney World. Is it Disney World in Florida? And yeah, the neo-Nazis demonstrate outside of Disney World because Disney is, I guess, not hating trans people enough or something. Is that it? It's all about who you hate. That's the Republican Party. Who gets kicked down upon? Who gets hurt? He's not hurting the people he's supposed to be hurting. And Ethan Schmidt doesn't want to be one of those people that is hurting. So he's pretending. It's really incredible. What he thinks is that in classic closet case manner, that they think that being vehemently and rabidly anti-gay, everybody's going to say, oh, well, this guy must be super straight. This guy is he's so masculine and manly. He loves women. And it's the furthest thing from the truth. It screams self-loathing closet case. So, but this is what we are dealing with. And it's sickening. They're frankly sickening. See here. Neo-Nazis demonstrate outside Disney World. Flying a swastika flag outside of Disneyland. Because Disney isn't hating gays enough. Well, this is what we're up against. I mean, they're not even trying to hide it anymore. They are Nazis. And they're not even trying to hide it. Oh, boy. Yep. And I'm sick of it. All right. I see the time. It's time to go. And thank you, Jim, for your super chat. $1 an hour tonight. That's okay. I don't do it for the money. If I did, I would. This is why I gotta, whatever. If I did, I'd be homeless at this point. So, all right. But if you can become a patron, please do at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Maybe one day we'll have a daily show at a set time. I doubt it, but I don't know. But I do thank you guys for hanging out and being in the Tarabuster community. I don't know what I'd do without you. Well, there goes my apostle orgies theory, Tara. I don't know. Maybe you're right there. Well, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. I love you all. You're the... Oh, Jim, again. Don't be silly. You do too much. You do it all around here. You're holding up the show. I mean, holding it up on your shoulders. Thank you so much. You're the best. That's $2 an hour now. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Whatever. I don't know how people do it. I really don't. I don't know. Don't get me going. I gotta call my shrink. So, listen. We will win. We will. We got more to talk about. I had more in the queue tonight, but it just, time flies when you're having fun and you're watching Tarabuster. I think so. I hope you enjoy the show. Maybe I should put some more production value into it. I don't know. I gotta think about that. How to do it. But we will win. We will. I gotta go to bed. I'm tired. We're on the right side of history. Maybe we can ask Nicole Sandler tomorrow. Who? Who's we? Ask her. Ask her to come on. I would have her. All right, guys. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. Thank you so much for hanging out. My name is Tara Devlin. And don't forget...
Call me now for your free reading.
And I will see you on Friday night. And we stick together, we win.